Weapons hot and one-liners at the ready, recruits. This ain't just some summer blockbuster vacation. This is the real deal. You've been chosen as part of an elite task force for the month of action. Now when those bullets start to fly and everything around you is up in flames, don't you lose your nerve. Remember who you are. You're the toughest, craziest, most resourceful sons of bitches to ever lace them up. We don't wait for backup and we damn sure don't retreat. Now strap your asses in and get ready for the drop. Oh, and one more thing. Before you pull that trigger, tell them John Mortis sent you.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's...
Geeks with beards. Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of the Geeks with Beards podcast. This episode is part of our Month of Action collaboration with like 17 other content creators out there. And our episode today will be covering the 4-part miniseries Demolition Man adaptation comic by DC Comics from 1993. And if anybody remembers, this was based on the movie, same name, Demolition Man, starring Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. And I think the movie was 93, 94, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Great movie. I love that movie, man. It's so awesome. Like I said before, I found the 2-sided DVD at the flea market a while back, so I love that movie. So before we get into it, Sean, what's been going on with you since last episode, man?
I played a couple shows last weekend.
Hell yeah, man. How'd they go?
They were good. We were in Johnson City Friday night and then Knoxville Saturday night, so both of them were really good. We opened up for a band called Summoner Circle.
Okay.
Which is like one of the bigger bands in Knoxville.
Now, is this the first time you've opened for them?
No. We did it like 3 years ago.
Okay, cool.
But they're getting ready to go on tour, so we get to help them, like, send them off, you know?
Yeah, awesome, man. Hell yeah.
That was cool. And then Sunday, we went to see Jurassic Park.
Okay, now what's your thoughts on that?
Or Jurassic World, my bad.
Yeah, Rebirth, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we went to see it in 4D.
Oh, is that one of the ones that the seats will shake around and stuff?
All right. If anybody's familiar with, you know that ride at Dollywood?
Yeah, Thunder Road or something like
something like that.
Yeah.
Where, like you were saying, it moves you around and stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Well, people familiar with Disney, there's a attraction called Filler Magic, and in that ride, which is really just a theater, you're watching a screen thing. It's in 3D. Mm-hmm. But they also, like, spray water. And they'll, like, there's, like, it'll temperature change and stuff like that.
Okay.
This is kind of like a cross between those two.
All right.
So it moves you, like, they played the trailer for Superman.
Oh.
And as he's flying, you felt the wind.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
And then they kind of moved you back
with
and forth.
With him, kind of. Yeah, man.
So, with that being said, the actual movie, the writing could have been better. It was a little predictive. I didn't realize, was it Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah.
She's the main character?
Yeah, I remember seeing her in the trailers. Yeah.
Okay, well, besides that, if you go into it in the 4D style, like, it feels like a survival horror type thing.
Okay.
Like, it was amazing.
Kind of almost like them old Turok video games or something like
yeah.
You're trying to survive. Yeah.
But you actually feel like the back of the seats like hits you like if something's nodding.
That fully immersive experience right there, man.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I really, really dug it.
Hell yeah,
so
I've never done that before in the theater before. One of these days I'll try that out for a movie.
I highly recommend, especially if it's like an action movie.
Yeah, that'd give you the best experience, I would think, for sure. Yeah,
for sure. And then, what else have I done? I read a comic today.
Yeah, what'd you read, man?
I read Ninja Turtles 115. So this comic's 4 years old.
I like the cover. That's Toka and Razor, isn't it?
Versus Bebop and Rocksteady.
Bebop and Rocksteady. Nice. I like the artwork.
Yeah. The artwork's great on this series. So in this issue, you got two turtles right now. One's named Jenna, and the other one's name is Oh, I can't believe I forgot her name. She's like an albino turtle, and she's like a little baby turtle.
Oh, okay, cool.
Not baby, like a child turtle, I'd say.
Okay.
Anyway, her future self comes to the past, like full Cable style. It's like, you're going to become like a murderer, and the whole clan falls apart because of you, and all she wants to do is just join a rock band.
Okay. All right.
During this issue, Token and Razar had just showed up a couple issues ago.
Okay.
And Bebop and Rocksteady, all of them technically work for Shredder's granddaughter.
Okay.
But somehow Token and Razar got set loose, and right now Shredder's granddaughter is in the Turtle's lair healing up. So they're trying to get her to, get your animals under control.
Now, are they similar to how they were portrayed in the second live-action film, kind of stupid, or are they more...
Yeah, they call her Mama.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least it ain't Shredder, Mama.
Yeah, and Bebop and Rocksteady are similar to the cartoon, so it's really cool to see that dynamic.
That's cool, yeah, okay.
So anyway, Bebop and Rocksteady are sitting out there to stop them. The Turtles are trying to get a phone call to Shredder's granddaughter to, hey, could you stop him? FaceTime him, please?
Could you make him stop?
So anyway, they get them under control, and then Bebop and Rocksteady are ready to fight. So a little bit before this, Bebop and Rocksteady wanted to start a band too.
Sure, why not?
I mean, it's in their names.
I was getting ready to say, yeah.
So the girl turtle's like, hey, I'll challenge you to a battle of the bands.
Okay.
So that's what's supposed to happen next issue. It's supposed to be like a week later or something.
That's cool. Because I meant to ask you before you said anything, like, where's the guys at?
Yeah, they're kind of just like an in-between of the story part.
Okay, now is that something that's been going on throughout the book at this moment that you're reading, that the guys are kind of secondary right now, or?
Yeah, they're doing a really good job exploring the secondary characters.
Secondary ones. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like, everybody, Hob and Alopex and the Foot Clan itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Shredder's dead at this point.
Oh, okay. He's not one of the, like, he went in like an Utrom now, is there anything? Like he was in that 2012 cartoon?
No, it's nothing like that.
Okay. He's just dead.
He's dead.
He's dead.
They had a comic Shredder in Hell, which I didn't finish it, but it was like his journey through hell.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, because they're reincarnated too, like all the turtles.
You told me about that. Excuse me, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So
that's cool, because I assumed when you said that the female, where she was like albino, I didn't know that. I assumed the first albino one was the new one that's in Last Ronin 2, because there's one.
What was her name?
He's a boy in the.
Oh, okay. It's a boy.
Uno.
Okay, no, it's not
Uno.
that.
No, but that's what that surprised me when you said it. I'm like, I thought Uno was the first like albino turtle or whatever, but no, it got it before the Last Ronin stuff. Well, that's 115, so would that have been before the first Last Ronin storyline? Probably wouldn't it?
This is 2021 when Ronin came out.
I don't remember when the first one came out. It might have been same time or a couple of years later, maybe.
Could be.
I have to look at it and see. I don't know.
But anyway, that's enough turtle talk.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
I've watched a couple of movies. I finally got to watch Sinners. It's on HBO, well, Max, but it will be HBO Max again.
I've got to watch it, so don't spoil it.
I won't. I'll just say it's awesome.
All right, cool.
And then I watched Mickey 17, Robert Pattinson, like sci-fi kind of comedy movie or whatever. For me, it's a one and done. I don't think I'll ever revisit it. It's not bad. It's pretty decent. Mark Ruffalo's in it. Plays like a stupid politician or something like that. But I won't say anything in case you might want to watch that one, maybe. But it's pretty good. But yeah, so both movies are good. Sinners is definitely top of the two.
Sweet.
I'm going to try, as of this recording, Friday, Superman drops. So I'm going to try to go watch it in theaters and give my thoughts on that one next episode. I've stayed away from reviewers. I've already seen some people reviewing it. I'm just like, nope, you all just shut the hell up. I'm not even looking at it. I just want to go experience it for myself.
I will say the trailer in 4D is pretty sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
And for everybody that hates the suit, hush. The suit looks nice. I'm just saying. Other than that, comic book wise, as of last episode, I hadn't read my new comics, but I have since then, and I got new Transformers 21, and I sent you some pictures of it. Basically, Megatron, Optimus is, he discovers basically that the reason he's been having these blackouts and these like moments of violence where he just blasts shit when the other Autobots are saying, hey, no, don't do this, is because of Megatron's arm. It's actually been infecting the Matrix and kind of infecting him basically and like messing with his mind and everything.
It's a organic virus.
Kinda. It's like, I guess the arm is sentient somehow. I don't know. And, so basically he tries to rip it off. He can't get it ripped off. So he tells the other Autobots to blast it off of him. He's like, you've got to get this off of me. This is what's causing me to be, you know, the way I have been, you know. So they finally blasted off of him. And also Megatron is back. And that's after he's repaired Starscream, and his eyes are repaired now, so he's good to go. And so he gets to the Ark, and the Autobots see him, and they basically, Optimus is like, we better get out of here. We better retreat, basically. And on the way they're trying to retreat, Bruticus and Devastator attack, the two combiner teams, they attack. And then out of nowhere, Superion, he's the combined form of the aerial bots. They show up, they fight for a little while. But they decide, well, we need to get out of here. Megatron's a little too strong. We need to go. So on their way out, leaving the Ark, you see Megatron reattach his arm, and he blasts Superion, and in the process, he kills one of the aerial bots, Slingshot. He's one of the arms. And he kills him, and basically you just see the Autobots running away, basically, retreating, and Megatron stands over Slingshot's body, and he rips his head off, and he's like, yeah, your time's coming, Optimus. You know, it's basically what he's telling him, you know. I'm just like, oh my God. It's going to be so awesome. And for anybody that reads the comic or a Transformers fan, Daniel Warren Johnson, his last issue will be number 24. And then in October of this year, issue 25, Robert Kirkman is coming on as the writer for the comic book.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead creator, Robert Kirkman. He's been writing Void Rivals since the beginning. He created that comic, which is part of the Energon universe. So he's going to step into writing role for Transformers for I don't know how long. I have no idea, but he's starting with issue 25, and he's already saying, yeah, it's going to be like a double-sized issue, and it's going to be a great jumping on point for first-time readers. I'm like, don't restart the story. I'm like, Daniel Warren Johnson has done so great with this story. Like, do not reset this story. Other than that, I guess that's been about it for me, besides reading this for the show, and I rewatched the movie, kind of refreshed my memory on the movie as well, because there's a little bit of differences in this compared to the movie. But
see, I read that first and then watched the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I did.
You glad you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
At the end of a century, ravaged by violence, a society of perfect order will arise. Criminals will be frozen and reprogrammed in cryogenic prisons.
The prisoners are ice cubes. Their criminal instincts are being reprogrammed as they sleep.
Aggression and deviant behavior will be totally eliminated.
He's a criminal the likes of which you have never seen. In a bad time, he was the worst.
I'm gonna love running this place.
But in the year 2032...
This morning, Simon Phoenix escaped from this cryo facility. We are, quite frankly, not equipped to deal with the situation.
amidst a world of peace and calm...
We're police officers. We're not trained for this kind of violence.
How was the fiendish Simon Phoenix apprehended back in the 20th?
In the end, it took just one man. John Spartan.
You mean the Demolition Man?
The conditions of your parole are full reinstatement into the SAPD and immediate assignment to the apprehension of Simon Phoenix.
Two mortal enemies.
Just dropped in to say hi.
From another time.
Pass is over, John. Time for something new and improved.
Oh, hell.
Will be unleashed on a future that isn't big enough for the both of them. Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Demolition Man.
All right, let's jump into it. Just a real quick history on the comic book, not too much to it. Like I said, it's a 4-part limited series, adaptation of the movie Demolition Man, and it's by DC Comics. It started in November of 1993. It was written by Gary Cohn, C-O-H-N, Cohn. And the art was done by Rod Whigham with covers by Kevin McGuire. So if it was November of 93, well, the movie was what? 94? No?
I think it was 93.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say because I was thinking if it came out a little bit before technically the release of the movie, that might explain some of the differences of what's going on. But,
yeah, it was 1993.
Was it? Okay. My bad. I thought it was 94. Maybe I'm thinking of Judge Dredd. He was 94 or 95, I think, maybe.
So it makes you wonder, did they create this at the same time, you think?
I don't know. I'm curious on some of the differences, and we'll get into it as we go through here. Were these maybe early versions of the script, and they just went with this for the comic book, and then they edited stuff out for the final film version, maybe? I don't know. It's not huge differences, but there's two things in here for sure that I think probably should have been in the film, in my opinion. But some people may think they're throwaway moments. I don't know. But, so yeah. All right, we're going to jump right into it here. We open in Los Angeles, 1996. And we have a helicopter carrying 3 police officers. And one is Mr. John Spartan, the Demolition Man. And I noticed in the comic book, they called him the Demolition Man quite a bit compared to the film.
Yeah, that's a drinking game almost.
Yeah, the movie, I remember him saying at least once, at least. I think Officer Lamb, the older black officer, I think he says at least once in the movie.
And I think Sandra Bullock's character does too.
She might, yeah, I forgot about that. She might have, but I know they mentioned it in here several times.
Yes.
She's like, you're the Demolition Man. You're the Demo Man. I'm like, okay, we got it. We got it. So Spartan is going in to try to find Mr. Simon Phoenix because he has taken a bus full of hostages captive. And in his little, I forgot where in the movie where they say, and I don't think they say it in here either, the area that he's in. It almost looks like a post-apocalyptic. Like there's big giant fires and towers and stuff all around it. I don't know if it's supposed to be if it was like some kind of old business building or old warehouse or something. I forget now what it was in the movie. But, so we got one of the cops. They asked Spartan, like, why are they calling you the Demolition Man? And the other cop says, oh, he just likes demolishing stuff. And Spartan says, I do my job. Stuff happens. Mm-hmm. And they use a thermal scan, but it only shows 7 heat signatures. And they were told there was at least 30 or so possible hostages that was on this bus, but they only see 7 heat signatures. Well, Spartan, he rappels from the helicopter to the roof of the building, and he calls this place Castle Phoenix, and it really does. It almost looks like a castle in a way. And it has, like I said, it has like fire on top of these huge towers. You've got cars that are piled up almost like barrier walls to try to keep people out of it. And as in the movie, basically Phoenix tells Spartan, he's like, cops are smart. They don't come down here. Fire department don't come down here. He's like, damn bus drivers. He's like, they didn't learn nothing. So once Spartan, he gets on the roof, he takes out a couple of guys because Phoenix has got, like I said, it said 7 heat signatures, but I think there were more. And, so he takes out a guy, but he punches him and he breaks another guy's neck. And, then he goes inside where he jumps on another one, knocking him out. And he basically jumps down to me, it looked like an elevator shaft. I think that's how it was in the movie too. I don't remember. I think it's like an elevator shaft, I believe. And, so he jumps on the other guy, knocks him out. And we see that Phoenix is actually watching him on camera from inside the building. Then Spartan, he shoots and kills another one of the goons who falls down the stairs, down a stairway shaft. And I'm surprised in this too, even though it is based on a live action film. Sometimes they kind of change out like the ammo for like lasers. This was straight just like real bullets to me, coming out of a gun, So then Spartan goes into another room and he's looking for Phoenix. He finds him, but Phoenix has poured gasoline all over the floor. Now that's one of the little differences because in the film, you see him stab like the drums with his knife. Yeah. In the comic, it just shows it like pouring out, like he's pouring it out or whatever. And so he's got gas all over the floor. Phoenix tells Spartan, he's like, this is my kingdom. He's like 50 blocks in every direction. Nobody comes down here and messes with me. And he tells Spartan, he's like, if you want to arrest me, he said, you'll have to reach down my throat and pull out my heart. And Spartan's like, okay, sure.
They give me very Batman Joker vibes.
They do, for sure,
especially in this comic.
And there's a couple of times I remember in the movie when Snipes laughs a little bit. Kind of sounds like it too. And this is one thing. I know it's a movie. You ain't smelling this gasoline, John Spartan, when you walk in this room? There's like 2 or 3 5-gallon drums, like or 50-gallon drums, whatever. You're not smelling.
Hey, I've been punched.
And Phoenix, you're putting a torch down to the floor really close to the gasoline. The fumes ain't igniting. I'm just saying. But the cigarette does. I'm just nitpicking. Sorry. But, so Spartan, he responds. He says, I'm not a doctor. He's like, but I'll give it a try. And so Phoenix responds to him. He's like, is it cold in here or is it just me? Then he lights the gas with a cigarette. They start fighting each other amid the fire. Phoenix, he says, I don't know where the hostages are. He's like, I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. And Spartan tells him, he's like, I'll remember that. Foreshadowing. So yeah, the building explodes. And there's a little bit of movement in the rubble because other cops are like, oh my God, ain't nobody could survive that explosion. Like, Spartan's got to be dead. There's nobody going to live through that. But we see a little bit of movement in the rubble, and it's Spartan. And he's got Phoenix, like, by the collar of his shirt, and he's pulling Phoenix behind him. And his captain tells him, he's like, look, he said, you weren't even supposed to go in. He said, you're supposed to just observe and locate the hostages and, like, wait for the backup to get in here. And Spartan tells him, he tells the captain, like, but there was no hostages. He said, we just saw 7 heat signatures, just, Phoenix's bad guys. That's all we saw. And Phoenix is yelling out to the captain. He's like, he knew the hostages were in there, and he told me he didn't give a damn. He didn't care. He's like, he's willing to sacrifice them just to catch me. And then another officer comes running up, and he's like, Captain. He said, we found 20 or 30 bodies lying everywhere. And you see John Spartan, he's looking, he's like, it's not possible. He's like, there was nobody in the building. And Phoenix, he's telling the captain, he's like, look, see, I told you, he's a killer. He's a cold-blooded killer. He didn't give a damn about them hostages. And, so of course Spartan tries to go after him. And, the captain tells him, he's like, John, he's like, if you've got a good lawyer, he said, you better call him. And, so I'm reading this, and I'm like, you know what? It kinda, except for a few things here and there, is like, it's a pretty well adaptation of the movie.
It's almost spot on.
Yeah, and the artwork is amazing.
Yeah, honestly, that's the best thing about this comic. The artwork.
The artist, he caught the likeness of Snipes and Stallone and even Bullock. He caught, I think those, I guess maybe because those are the 3 main people, their likenesses are the best. Now everybody else, a little, not too good. But those 3, he got those almost spot on their likenesses.
They may not even knew what they really looked like if he got the script before they were casted.
They might have got some storyboard pictures or something, maybe. I don't know. Because, it's pretty much spot on to the film, the way they look on the covers here and everything. So,
and it's way better than Jim Lee for the same time frame. I'm telling you, dude, that is good artwork.
It is really good artwork. I agree on that one. That's almost
How have we not heard of this guy before?
I don't know. Well, see, that was what, 93? Mm-hmm. I was just reading Green Lantern at the time, so he wouldn't nowhere near Green Lantern, I don't think. So that's probably why I never heard him. Well, I was laser focused on Green Lantern at the time in the 90s. So, but yeah, dude, love the artwork though. So we go now. That's several weeks later, and we are at the California State Cryo Penitentiary. And we see, and this is not in the movie, and I like this as a little extra they added in here, which I like. You see Spartan, he's saying goodbye to his wife and his daughter before he gets cryo frozen. And he tells his wife, he says, he looks at her kind of jokingly, he's like, your mom said not to marry a cop. Mm. And she's like, I never listened to my mother. Then he bends down and he's talking to his daughter, and his daughter asks him, she says, if he'll be back. And he's like, yeah, I'll be back. And he said, I'll still be your dad. And he hands her his badge before he goes in. Again, none of this is in the film. So this is either added by the writer, or maybe this was an early version of the script they were going by, maybe.
I think if they put that in the movie, it would have made it more emotional.
Yeah, because in the film, he only mentions his wife and daughter twice. Well, he mentions his daughter twice. He mentions his wife and daughter both when he first gets thawed out. Mm-hmm. And he's told that...
I thought he just asked about his wife, because I was surprised at the daughter.
Oh, I think in the movie...
They volunteered the information.
Yeah.
Like
Huxley's getting ready to say it, and then that's when the captain or the chief cuts him off. That asshole. He's like, look, we're not here for a family reunion.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Which again, it's in the comic too, that line, I believe. So Spartan's daughter, says, hey, are you going to come back? Will you be back? And he said, sure will, baby. He said, I'll be back and I'll still be your daddy. And like I said, hands her his badge before he gets hauled off to be frozen. And he kisses both of them goodbye, and he proceeds to the cryo section to be frozen for 70 years. And the warden says that you have been selected to participate in enlightened penology, which is basically in the movie when they say that they are rehabilitating them while they're frozen. Brainwashing them, really, in a way. Yeah. Basically, like subconsciously brainwashing them like they don't know,
Retraining their minds.
Yeah, retraining their minds, yeah. So the warden tells Spartan, he says, after a sentence, he'll be a new man. And a better man through subliminal programming rehabilitation. And he's getting prepared to be cryo-frozen. And the dialogue boxes say that the machines will whisper to him and to his helpless mind, but he will never give in. He will remember. And that's how chapter 1 ends. And so far, we're, like I said, we're pretty going with the film. Like I said, I love that extra part with the wife and the daughter. I thought that was really touching. I enjoyed that a lot on the first issue. So we jump right into the second issue, and we open in the year 2032, August 3rd to be exact. And we meet Lieutenant Lenina Huxley of the San Angeles Police Department, and she's calling Warden Smithers for a daily check-in of the cryo prison status, and the warden says, all is good. He's like, the prisoners are on ice. He said, they ain't going nowhere. Even if they wanted to go somewhere, they couldn't go anywhere. And so the warden goes on to do his routine, his non-parole hearings. He's like, oh, it's just a formality that that federal statute 537-29 requires to be performed on all prisoners incarcerated prior to parole laws being repealed. So I'm just like, what's the point? They're not getting out. So what's the point? Just to check on them, make sure they're not frostbit?
It's a formality.
Well, yeah, I know he says that, but I'm just like, you can bypass the formality. Just say you did it. Just say you did it.
Basically what he does.
So yeah, after he sees a prisoner named Horace Bateman, they just randomly throw a character name in there. It's Phoenix's turn. And he's basically, as in the film, he's basically parroting what the warden says. Every time the warden says something, he parrots it. He says again, and he's like, stop that! Quit doing that! And, he is, like I said, he slaps him. I can't remember if he don't do it in the movie, does he? In the comic here, the warden slaps Phoenix with his little iPad or little handheld pad that he's got in his hand.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, I didn't think he did in the movie. He just basically tells him to stop it, basically.
Yeah.
So he asks Phoenix if he has anything new to say. And Phoenix says, yeah. He said, actually, I do. Teddy bear. And then boom, the restraints to start snapping off of Phoenix. And he jumps off of the chair that he's in, and he starts fighting the guards that are in there. Of course, he kills the 2 guards. He attacks the warden. And as in the film, he removes his eyeball and uses it to get out of the cryo prison. Then we cut back to Huxley. She is heading towards the police station. And she's remarking on how boring it is. And that hits, the car, and the car's computer's asking her, is like, does she need to be, prescribed something for her boredom? I'm like, they do that? They got stuff for boredom? I'm like, okay. And she's like, no, thank you. She's like, you're not my mother. So that we see that, a device pop up out of the ground, and it spray paints "Life is Hell" on the side of like a building or a sign, but it of course is instantly removed by like electricity bolts or whatever that comes out of these little rods. And then we see a telescope that rises up out of the ground, and a group of people that are underground are looking through the telescope, and they see that there's a van parked that says "Food Line," and one of the characters says, "In 12 hours, another van will show up," and he's like, "We'll rob it." Because it has food, and we got to feed to all these hungry people. So in 12 hours, we'll let this one go on, and we'll grab the next one. Because I think it's dark the next time, I believe, when the other one shows up, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like nighttime, I believe. So we get back to the police station, and Huxley is told about the graffiti, and her captain tells her that her fascination with the vulgar 20th century is affecting her better judgment. And she's like, "Thank you for the attitude adjustment." and then makes her way to her office and calls him a moron, and she gets fined the half a credit for. I'm like, really? You even outlawed the word moron? It's like, I get cussing, like, but whatever. Okay, but so
it's a derogatory statement.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, she gets fined a half a credit for violating the verbal morality statute.
Okay, morality. That's why.
Morality statute. You're immoral when you call somebody a moron. Man, I'd be like Spartan was in the movie. I'd have so many stacks of papers. But
I don't have to take that, Dan.
But so as we're at the police station still, and the alarm goes off. 187, 187, 187. And everybody's surprised by the alarm and asks, "What is a 187? I've never heard of a code 187 before." And they find out that a 187 means MDK, murder, death, kill. And there's 3 unsanctioned life terminations at the cryo prison, where Phoenix has removed the warden's eye with his ink pen, and he's used it to access the prison doors. He looks for some decent clothes, because he's still got like his little gown on or whatever. And he attacks another doctor in the garage and steals his car. Well, Officer Lamb, the black gentleman is in the film, he tells everybody about Phoenix and how evil he was and how evil he is. And as they're talking, they discover where Phoenix has went to. And they send some officers out to arrest him because he's at like a... What was that in the movie? It was like almost like a map kind of computer kind of thing, trying to find like a map of the city and whatever all that stuff was.
Yeah.
So they find out where he is, and they send these officers to arrest him. And as in the movie, he just whoops their asses. Because, they got the little thing. He's being assertive. He's not complying. And that's when the little machine's like, "Repeat what you said and add, or else." I love Wesley Snipes' look in the movie when the cop says that. He's like, "What? What'd you say?" So yeah, he whoops all their asses. And, he knocks out the computers with the little stun rod, and he disappears. He goes away. He disappears. So we cut to the Cocteau Center, where the man responsible for a new peaceful world is telling, other people via like a video phone kind of thing about Edgar Friendly and his people that he calls Scraps. And we find out that Edgar Friendly was the guy who was looking up through the telescope. Then he's got quite a few people that live underground. And basically, which we'll get to it, but I'll say it now. Basically, if you hadn't even watched the film, he is the leader of, I don't know if you call it a rebellion, but they definitely do.
It's the outcasts.
Yeah, they refuse to live how Cocteau wants them. They want to live how, I guess you could say, how we live now. Eat what they want, drink what they want. If they want to smoke, smoke. If they want to cuss, cuss. If they want to have sex. All the bad stuff that Cocteau has said is bad for you. They're just like, fuck it. We want to do it. We want to have free thinking. We don't want to be told what we can do and eat and blah, blah. So, but Edgar sees them as a threat to his society that he's built. So the police, they're still shocked at what's happened to the people at the cryo prison and the other officers. But Officer Lamb tells me, he's like, there was only one man that could stop Phoenix back in the day. And he said, that was Spartan. John Spartan. And, they kind of look him up, want to know who he was and everything. And Captain Earl, he reluctantly decides, well, I guess we need to thaw Spartan out since he can catch him. And I know in the movie, it cuts to a scene like he's talking to, Dr. Cocteau. And Cocteau basically tells him, do whatever is necessary to stop Simon Phoenix. And then that's when he decides, well, Lamb said, Spartan was the guy that caught him, so I guess, we better, thaw him out. He reluctantly wants to thaw him out. And so they go to the cryo prison, and they thaw him out. And he's waking up from being frozen, and he's kind of asking them what's going on, what's the year and everything. And they tell him what year it is. And they tell him, it's been 36 years since you were incarcerated. And he's like, well, I had a wife, and I had a daughter. What happened to him? And Huxley tells him that unfortunately his wife had died in the big earthquake of 2010. And she's getting ready, like I said, as in the movie, she's getting ready to say something about his daughter. And then Captain Earl cuts him off. And he's like, look, basically he's like, look, Neanderthal, we didn't thaw you out for a family reunion. We need you for a job. And, so Spartan is told about Phoenix. He's escaped and that he is temporarily reinstated as a cop to help them find Simon Phoenix. And he tells them that, basically he's like, okay, I'll do it. So we cut to the police station. They were back at the police station. And this is probably one of the funniest scenes I love in this film and in the comic book as well. This is when Spartan, he's got his uniform back on and he walks out of the bathroom. He's like, you're out of toilet paper.
Yeah.
What? Oh, you used to use paper yeah, no, you don't know how to do the shells?
He doesn't know what the 3 seashells are.
What the 3 seashells are. And I am so glad. I think in the comic book, if I remember right, they minimize Schneider's character more in the comics than he was in the movie.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And I'm like, thank God. but he's like, oh, you don't know how to use the seashells. Oh. And then, of course, like in the film, he goes back to the little machine that finds you for violating the morality statute and just cuss. Gets the paper. Like, I'll see you in a few minutes. I'll be right back. And then he walks away. Captain Earl, after this happens, Captain Earl is talking to everybody and he says, hey, he's like, our computer system is telling us that Simon's going to start up a crime syndicate and start a drug lab. And Spartan tells him, he's like, that is bullshit. And he's going to go for a gun. That's all he wants is a gun. And Captain Earl's basically like, where's he going to find a gun? He's like, a museum's, oh, okay. So we going to cut to the museum now. And, Phoenix is walking around and, he goes into the Hall of Violence and he's trying to get a gun. And it's funny because, again, you have to compare it because that's what it's based off of. In the movie, he's punching that glass, or maybe it's plexiglass. I don't know, but it's something he can't go through. And I love in the film, I chuckle every time I watch it. He punches, he's like, God damn. He's like, motherfucker, he just cusses, Guy comes up to him, he's like, can I help you with anything? Do you need help with anything? And he looks at the guy, he grabs the guy, throws him into the glass, shatters the glass so he can get him a gun. And, of course, he grabs the guns, he kills the security officers that run in there. And in the process, the security gates, they all shut down on the museum. So basically Phoenix is trapped inside the museum. And we get up to Spartan and Huxley and another police officer. They show up at the museum, and Spartan, he's like, what is this? And they're like, oh, it's a glow rod. That's what we use. We don't have guns anymore. And, he's like, okay. So basically, he goes inside. Spartan goes inside or getting ready to try to go inside the museum, but like I said, it's locked down. So we see Phoenix. He blows a hole in the door with a big ass cannon, like an old cannon from the Civil War days. And basically, Spartan just goes in through the hole in the wall that he made, and they exchange gunfire. And as we see in the film, they go back and forth. They talk to each other a little bit, and basically, Phoenix he's like, Spartan, is that you? He's like, damn. He's like, well, ain't anybody in this century. They're exchanging gunfire and everything. And the issue ends with the scene of where Spartan shoots like a big ass chandelier, basically, and it crashes through. It's like a glass floor, because if you see through the floor, it's in the part of the museum, it shows like parts of the old city, I guess, after the earthquake, and it shows like, an old car and stuff. So issue 2 ends with them falling through that glass ceiling and down into like old California, old Los Angeles or whatever. And we pick up in issue 3 with Phoenix and Spartan. They're still shooting at each other at the museum. And Phoenix finds a new toy. It's called an ACMAG. It's a big ass laser gun. And so he's got hit, and he starts using it on Spartan. And Spartan is trying to avoid it the best he can. So he jumps up on the car, and he's still got the glow stick. And he looks down, and where they busted through, they hit like a fire hydrant, like an old school fire hydrant. So there's water all over the ground. And he sees that Phoenix is standing in the water. So he jumps on top of the car, and he's got the glow rod. He activates the glow rod, and he sticks it in the water. And it shocks Phoenix a little bit, but Phoenix is able to get out. And you see him he climbs out, kind of, again, it's not an elevator shaft. I guess it's like an exhaust shaft or something. But you see him climb out, and we cut to the outside where Dr. Cocteau and Associate Bob, I forgot that dude's name.
Yeah.
The actor from Beetlejuice. I completely forgot what his fucking name was, but it says in the comic book that he's called Associate Bob.
We'll go with that.
I don't remember that in the movie. Maybe it's because I wasn't listening close enough.
Did they say his name?
I thought they did, but maybe they didn't. I don't know. Again, this could be just a comic book thing. I don't remember. So they're walking outside, and Phoenix emerges from the chute that he come up out of the ground, and he approaches Dr. Cocteau, and he aims a gun at him, and he's trying to shoot him, but he can't do it. He can't pull the trigger. He just stares at him with a gun pointed at him. And he's like, I can't do it. He's like, I can't pull the trigger. I don't understand what's going on. And Cocteau tells him, he's like, don't you have somebody else that you need to kill? Some name that keeps being repeated in your head? He's like, I think you do. He's like, Friendly? Edgar Friendly? Doesn't that name sound familiar to you, Mr. Phoenix? And then right before, before he says that another good line that I liked in the film that they put in the comic book, before he says that to Phoenix about Friendly, he looks at him, he's like, oh, he's like, no kiss kiss, no bang bang. So after that exchange, Simon runs away, and you see in the background of the panel, Spartan is coming up out of the hole, and Spartan shows up, and he says that, he tells Cocteau, he's basically like, you know what, he's like, you're a lucky man. He said, you're lucky that Phoenix didn't whack you. Mm-hmm. And Cocteau, he's like, what? I don't really know what whacking means, but it doesn't sound very pleasant. He's like, so I'm glad it didn't happen to me. And he tells Spartan, he says, and Huxley runs up, and Huxley says, you really licked his ass. And he's like, kicked his ass. And so then Cocteau asked Captain Earl, he said, who authorized you to release Spartan? And Captain Earl tells Dr. Cocteau, he's like, well, you told me to do whatever was necessary. And he said, I was informed by one of my officers that John Spartan was the only person to capture Simon Phoenix in the past. So I felt this was the prudent way to go. The best way to handle this was to release him. But he's like, it's only temporary. Basically, if he fucks up, he's going back. It's only temporary. And so then Cocteau, he invites Spartan. He's like, well, to thank you for saving my life. He's like, would you like to have dinner with me later tonight? And Spartan's like, sure. Okay. Where are we going to eat at? Taco Bell. And then Spartan's like, Taco Bell? What the hell? He's going to send me, we're going to a fast food place? I'm like, okay. And then, God, I don't think I'd eat Taco Bell forever, man. I don't know about that.
I would.
I don't know about yeah, that's why you love this movie. It's Taco Bell.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner. I'm there.
So we go back to police headquarters after that, and Spartan's questioning Cocteau and this whole new peaceful world. See, that's another thing. I don't remember in the movie it says anything like, is this the world view, or is this just in San Angeles? Like, is this just California?
I believe it's just San Angeles.
It's what I thought.
Yeah.
So basically Spartan's kind of questioning Cocteau and his methods of his peaceful world, or a peaceful city and everything. And Captain Earl tells him, he's like, the mayor/governor, Cocteau, he created this way of life to protect the people from the savages like you, John Spartan. He's like, you're nothing but a savage. He's like, I should just put you right back in that damn prison. He's like, you're not one of us. I'm just like, You all lost your shit when he was punching people and kicking people, and when he murdered people, Snyder's guy even bends over and throws up. I was like, you guys can't handle what, old school crime is. You can't handle this. Like, you can get speeding tickets. That's all you can do. Nah. That's probably all you can handle. So we cut to Taco Bell, and this is a damn fancy Taco Bell.
Well, it should be. It's the last.
Yeah. I mean, this is like huge too. It's like a huge like eat-in restaurant, Taco Bell. It ain't like the little rinky-dinks, that we got around here now.
No, it's
man.
pretty much like a steak restaurant.
It is, for sure, yeah. And Spartan's kind of surprised to see this, And this is when Huxley tells him, he's like, you don't know. And he's like, no, what? She's like, oh, the franchise wars. He's like, what? She's like, oh yeah, all the food franchises. There was like this big franchise war, and Taco Bell was the last one standing. So all the restaurants now are Taco Bell. And I'm just like, oh, I know there's variety, but come on, people.
I want to move here.
But would they taste as good as they do now? Because everything that's bad for you, like salt and meat. So you would have some kind of meat.
Sir, have you had Taco Bell?
Yeah, I have.
It's not real meat to begin with.
Looks like real meat.
Hey.
Smells like real meat.
We can do that. It's the Impasa Taco.
It's no. I did have one of those, what was it called? Was it
Impossible Burger?
An Impossible Whopper or whatever it was, where it was like actually enjoyed it, so I probably wouldn't have a problem eating meat substitute, I guess.
Hey, as long as I got that sauce and spices, I'm down.
I don't know. That might be legal too, because it might hurt your internal organs, that spiciness, so they might outlaw that too. So,
well, fuck this place.
See, told you.
Right.
Oh, and plus, no alcohol, no smoking, nothing like that. So,
yeah, I'd be going underground
too. I was
too.
gonna say go underground with friendly, yeah. So they're driving. Spartan and Huxley is driving to Taco Bell. And that's what she tells him about the franchise wars. And he asks about his daughter again. And she's like, well, I could look her up. And then he kind of cuts her off. And he's like, no. He's like, it's best not to try to find her. He's like, the way the world is now, and she grew up in this kind of world, he said she might see me as a savage and, might see me as lesser of a person or something like that. And I'm like, come on, dude. You're her dad. I don't think any way she grew up is going to change how she feels about you. And I don't think that's going to make a big difference, I don't think.
I mean, she's eating rat burgers at this point. So.
Well, true. But so then we cut to Taco Bell, to the dinner. And Cocteau's telling Spartan that the democratic process had to be modified after the 5th riot. Damn. I mean, you're going to change the whole democratic process after a riot, then it must have been like the whole fucking state of California was on a riot or something, maybe. Like the whole system shut down or something. And he's like, whatever it took. He's like, something had to happen. And Spartan, he kind of looks at the corner of his eye while they're talking, and he sees a guy on the outside on a motorcycle and a few other people that are coming around. Basically, I guess it's like a delivery van or delivery truck or something of Taco Bell's. And they're stealing the food out of it. And Spartan, he goes to stop them. And basically Hugs is like, where are you going? He's like, it's a gut instinct. He's like, these people out here, they might be doing some bad shit. He's like, I gotta go stop them. So he gets up to go stop them, but he realizes what's going on. And he does stop. He kind of knocks a couple of them down. And, but he realizes what's going on. He realizes that they're just stealing food. They're not hurting anybody. I don't even think they had weapons. They might have had like melee weapons or something, but I think that's about it.
Yeah.
But he finds out they're just stealing food.
Now, am I wrong, but in the movie, didn't the truck say Pizza Hut? Or the van?
Oh, shit.
I only remember Taco Bell.
Oh, damn. I don't remember.
There was a Pizza Hut logo on the van.
Was there one?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember that. I watched the movie like 2 days ago, so I forgot.
And that's when Sylvester Stallone's character just tosses like he's having an argument with him.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My bad. Yeah. I didn't think about that. I'll have to go back and rewatch that again today. I forgot about that. For some reason, I just thought it was Taco Bell on the van.
I did too. That's why I was like, I was glad I read the comic first. I'm like, something's not right here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a few inconsistencies, a few differences in the comic book and the movie. So yeah, he realizes they're stealing food and lets them go. And Cocteau comes up behind him. He's like, they're called scraps. He's like, basically, they're lower life forms. They're the lower life forms of human life. And you find out that, and Spartan and them don't know this yet, but basically it's one of those little dialogue boxes that's letting the reader know that he plans on purging them from what he calls his perfect society. So basically, he's going to do whatever he can to basically just murder everybody that's underground. And I'm kind of surprised in a way, and I know you wouldn't have a movie, but I'm kind of surprised in a way that it wasn't in the movie that he'd already tried, because he kind of knows they live underground. So why not just gas the whole sewer or whatever?
Makes you wonder.
Yeah, it's like, But yeah, he went through the whole trouble of rehabilitating, in quotation marks, Simon Phoenix to just kill Edgar Friendly, the leader.
I'm guessing canon-wise it's probably because he doesn't want to be tied to it.
Well, no, I get that.
Yeah.
But instead of just taking the leader out, you could have had Phoenix maybe just like, I don't know, put some kind of gas bomb or something or whatever. But he's like, no, just take the leader out. Which I get it. A lot of times when you take the leader out, everybody else will kind of just fall away.
Yeah.
Because they won't have somebody to lead them.
Cut the head off.
Yeah, cut the head of the snake off, yeah, for sure. So yeah. So we find out that basically that Cocteau wants to wipe out Edgar Friendly and the scraps, as he calls them. And Spartan and Huxley, they leave Taco Bell, and she hands him this disc. And he's like, oh, thank you. And we find out that it's basically it's video recording. It's an information disc, but it's got like the video footage of when Phoenix came out of the tunnel and confronts Cocteau.
And he couldn't shoot him. Yep.
No. So before we find that out, we get to the apartment building that they live in, and Huxley shows Spartan her 20th century collection that her whole apartment looks like the 90s. It looks like, honestly, the way your house looks, the way my house looks. Pictures, movie posters, music, posters, movies, all that stuff like that. There's even a Lethal Weapon poster hanging up,
It's predominant in the movie.
It is very predominant. Very. You know what? Every time I watch that movie, I'm looking in her room because I'm looking to see, is there an Arnold Schwarzenegger poster in there somewhere? Because if you remember in the movie Twins, he rolls up on a Rambo poster, Stallone, and does his flex and thing or whatever. So every time I'm watching that movie, I'm like, did I miss it? Is there a Schwarzenegger poster in here somewhere? So yeah, they go back to the apartment building. She shows him her apartment room, how it's got all this 20th century collectible stuff in it and everything. And she shows Spartan his room, says that his apartment room is just a little bit down the hall, not too far from where hers is. And that you can come on in, visit for a little while, whatever. So they sit down, and again, like in the film, she's like, "Hey, you want to have sex?" Mm-hmm. And Spartan's like, right now? Okay, sure, okay.
No, he was like, yeah. I'm like, you just found out your wife died earlier today.
I've been frozen for 36 years. Sure. Let's see if it still works. So she sets him down, and she goes and gets the VR helmets. And he's like, what the fuck what's going on? She's like, we're going to have sex. He's like, oh, what about the old-fashioned way? Well, actually, he says that afterwards. But so we go through the whole, I don't know, almost like a lawnmower man kind of thing, like a VR trip. You got flashing lights, and their eyes are closed and moaning and stuff. And then he takes the helmet off, and he's really confused. He doesn't understand what's going on. And then this is what he tells her. He's like, what about the old-fashioned way? He's like, what happened to that? He's like, this is not sex. He's like, this is not how I remember sex. And she tells him, she's like, ooh. She's like, are you talking about fluid transfers? She's like, no. She said that was banned. She said that was considered the downfall of man, the human race. And he tries to kiss her. Excuse me. And tries to kiss her, and basically she kicks him out of the apartment. She's like, leave, John Spartan, leave my room now. He's like, but leave my room now. Basically, he's like, good day, sir. So he kind of sulks away or whatever. He goes back to his apartment room, and he just starts taking out some stuff, and he starts knitting, just like he did in the movie. Just starts knitting, And he's watching the information disc that she gave him, and it shows Phoenix come out of the hole and point the gun at Cocteau, and he's wondering because it shows that moment, the conversation. You can't see or hear what they're saying, but you see the conversation. And he's wondering to himself, he's like, why didn't Phoenix shoot you? Why? Because any other time he would have blowed your head off. Why did he not shoot you? What happened? And so he's got a little bit of doubt of what's going on. This is when he gets really, really suspicious of Cocteau. And so then we cut back to Cocteau's office where he's coming in with associate Bob, and the room's dark, and Simon Phoenix is waiting on him. And Phoenix is like, I got a question for you, man. Why do I have all these skills I never had before? He's like, I can use this computer. I can speak all these languages. He's like, I got like these super duper fighting skills I didn't have before. He's like, well, what happened to me? What's going on? And Cocteau tells him, he's like, I gave those to you. Those are skills that you were given so you could carry out a mission of killing Edgar Friendly before he starts a revolution. He's like, I can't have that. He's like, I took too much time and effort into building this new peaceful regime, basically, that I have full control over. And he's like, I will not have anybody interrupt that. He says, well, that's why I need you to kill Edgar Friendly. And Phoenix tells him, he's like, it's a little rough down there. He's like, I've been to the wasteland, as he calls it. And he says, I'm going to need a little help. He's like, I'm going to need some of my buddies thawed out. And he said, but the thing is, he's like, not just anybody. He said, I'm going to choose who gets thawed out. I'm going to choose the guys. So while then we cut to Spartan and Huxley. I think it's the next day, I believe. And they're in a police car together, and he hands her a sweater that he knitted. He's like, I'm sorry here. She's like, oh, you made me a sweater. And so he asks, he's like, why am I a seamstress? And she says, it's all part of your rehabilitation program that Cocteau Industries created. And he's like, did they do the same thing for all the cryo prisoners, like Phoenix and other people? And she's like, yeah. She's like, the Cocteau Industries created all the rehabilitation stuff. She said, it would have been for everybody. And he's like, So Spartan decides, hey, you know what? We're going to go talk to Dr. Cocteau. So him and Huxley go to confront him. And he's telling Cocteau, he's like, look, you can't control Phoenix. And he says, you might think you can, but he said you can't. He said, you might think you can for a small amount of time. He said, Phoenix might let you think you can. But he says, in the end, he said, it's not going to be good for you. So Spartan ends up shooting all the monitors because he's talking to Cocteau on the monitors. He hadn't talked to him in person yet. He's talking to him on all these monitors. So he gets mad and he shoots the monitors. And you find out that Cocteau's in another room doing the video. And Spartan goes there and confronts him and basically tells him the same thing to his face. And tells him about it, and Cocteau's like, no. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, Phoenix was not, rehabilitated with all these, killer instincts and everything like that. Said his rehabilitation tells me right here that he was supposed to be a decorative floral designer. I'm like, what the fuck? They never say it in the movie either. Like, okay.
That was pretty good.
It was pretty funny. I like that one. So Cocteau orders Huxley to take Spartan back to the cryo prison. To put him back in, frozen, that he's disobeyed, he's, done what he's not supposed to be doing, which is question Cocteau, basically. But she disobeys, and they go underground to the wasteland. And they discover that there's a whole city underground full of people, and that the people actually aren't bad like Cocteau makes everybody think they are. They're actually just people trying to live a peaceful life. And this is when Spartan, he smells meat. He's like, is that meat I smell? Real meat? Then he goes and goes to this little vendor, this lady, and gets a burger. And he starts chomping on that burger. Oh, and he's making all the oh faces and all the good sex sounds, the moaning and the groaning. And he's like, oh, good burger. And she's like, rata. And he's like, what? She's like, rata. And they're like, it's a rat burger. Mm-hmm. He's like, rat. Best rat I've had. He's like, the best rat I've ever had. And then they see a 1970 Oldsmobile 442. I had to write that down or I never remembered that. I would have never remembered that. And that's what they say in the comic, and I think she says it in the movie. 1970 Oldsmobile 442.
It's an Olds 442.
Yeah. And in the movie, it's funny because in the movie, like, Spartan is impressed with what she knows. But again, she knows 20th century history. She's, delved into that. And so we see Friendly. And he shows up and he's pointing a gun at Spartan and the other police officers. And he explains why they do what they do. He says, if you live up top, he said, you're a brain dead drone living Cocteau's way. He says, down here, he said, you're free, but you might starve. He said, but at least you're free.
Yeah.
He's like, at least you're not, a drone. And Spartan tells him that, look, he said, Cocteau wants you dead. And Friendly looks at him and says, well, I'm flattered. He's like, no, you shouldn't be. He's like, he wants to kill you and wipe out your whole way of living and kill everybody down here. He's like, you need to be afraid. He's like, you don't need to be thinking this is a joke. And this is another part that I wish was in the film that I thought was so awesome in this comic book. There's a lady that approaches him and she looks at him. She's like, are you John Spartan? The one that they call the Demolition Man? And he turns around, he looks, and you find out that this woman is his daughter.
Yeah.
Katie.
That was a good scene.
That was a really good scene.
She looks like she's 80 years old, but yeah.
Well, 36 years has passed. She was probably what?
6
to 8, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So she should be in...
She's been in her late 40s.
She looks like she's 60.
Yeah, the artist didn't compliment her that well, but she's at least somewhere in her 40s, early 50s, something like that, probably. But again, she's living underground, so it's a rough life, probably. So bless her heart.
Also true.
But again, I love that. I didn't expect that. I love that her daughter has been living underground with Edgar Friendly and the rest of the scraps, as they call them. And Phoenix, as they're talking to each other, Phoenix sees Spartan and Friendly together. And he's like, ha ha. He's like, 2 for the price of 1. He's like, I couldn't have had a better day today. He's like, I must have done something really good in the previous life. Mm-hmm. He's like, but I can't imagine what the hell it was, though. Mm-hmm. And we end issue 3 with him taking his weapon, and you see him aiming at Friendly and Spartan both, and he's getting ready to fire on them. And again, like I said, that ends issue 3. And so we jump into issue 4, the final issue of this limited series. And it picks up right after 3. Phoenix and his goons, they open fire on Spartan and his daughter, and several little small fights they break out between Phoenix's goons and some of Friendly's people because they're trying to fight back, they're trying to protect themselves. And Spartan, he chases after Phoenix, and they both go across a catwalk, and of course the catwalk collapses because it's an old catwalk, it's probably rusty or whatever, so it collapses under their weight. And Simon tells Spartan, he says, you know what? He said, something that made me happy all those years I was frozen, he says, was knowing that you went to jail for something I did. And Spartan's like, what? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, by the way, he's like, I set you up for all those bus passengers. He said, they was already dead when you got there. He's like, ha. And Spartan's basically like, you son of a bitch. He's like, I'll kill you. But Phoenix gets away. He climbs up an elevator shaft, and Spartan and Huxley take the Oldsmobile up a big service elevator. And before this, Spartan had told his daughters, like, look, run away. He's like, get out of here. She's like, I don't want to leave you. He's like, look, I'm not risking losing you. I already lost you for 36 years. He's like, I'm not going to lose you again. I don't want to risk that. So they go up into the service elevator in the car, and we see, again, another scene that we did not get in the movie. We see Officer Lamb, and he's standing up above, like, I guess it was the sewer entrance or the entrance that they went down into the wasteland, and he's looking down. And he's standing above the entrance on the street and kind of just looking down like, what's going on? I bet it has to be Spartan, Mm-hmm. And we
The Demolition Man.
The Demolition Man. And we see, let's see, if you're looking at the page, it would be off to the right side of the panel. And we see Phoenix is starting to sneak up on Lamb. And he basically, Lamb turns around and looks at him, and he's like, look, he said, ain't nothing personal, rookie. And he's like, but I know if I kill you, he's going to piss Spartan the hell off. So he kills Officer Lamb. Again, we didn't see it in the film, but they put it in the comic books. And after that, he runs away. And we see Spartan come up, and he finds Lamb dead, unfortunately. He didn't even get to say goodbye to him. He'd already passed away. And Huxley's like, it's like, I'm sorry for your loss. And he's basically like, oh no. He's like, don't be sorry. He's like, when I find Simon, he's like, I'm going to rip his fucking face off. He's like, I'm going to kill him. So we get into that big car chase that we had in the film where they're chasing Phoenix. And Spartan jumps onto the police car. He rips the door off. They start fighting. And Spartan knocks Phoenix away from the car. And as in the film, you see Spartan's driving the car. It basically just crashes right into the SAPD fountain, And then that's when all that like safety foam comes around him and everything. And, he gets out of that. And then we see Friendly that shows up. And he shows up at the police station after Spartan has got out of the car and everything. And basically Spartan's like, why are you here? And he's like, after what you said, he's like, I realize, we do need to try to take a stand. He's like, we can't always just be hiding from Cocteau. He's like, you said it basically he was going to kill us like rats. He's like, yeah, we can't do that. We've got to stand up for what we believe in. So Spartan looks at him and he's like, look, he's like, I'm going to need a gun. He's like, no, you know what? I'm going to need 2 guns. Mm-hmm. He's like, give me a couple of guns. So he gets his guns. He's going to go stop Phoenix. And right before he leaves, we get another scene with his daughter. And she's like, here you go, Dad. She gives him his police badge back that he gave to her all those years. She still had it. 36 years later, she hung on to it. And she gave it back to him. And says that she's like, don't get killed. She's like, we got a lot of catching up to do. And he kind of gives her a hug and, goes off. So we see that Simon is back at Cocteau's area. And he says that they've terrified the people. And Cocteau's like, I can use that. I can use that to tighten up the security. I can use that to implement new things that, to make my control over the city more powerful than it already is. And Phoenix says, you know what? He's like, you remind me of an evil Mr. Rogers. And he's like, you know what? He's like, I can't kill you. One of my boys can. Mm-hmm. And if I'm not mistaken, in the movie, I think it was Jesse Ventura's character that shot him in the film. And I will say, the artist kind of captured Jesse's likeness a little bit in here. But again, like I said, Phoenix, Spartan, and Huxley were the main 3. I think he focused on trying to get their likenesses the best. So, Jesse Ventura's character, bam, shoots Cocteau, kills him dead. And I don't think in the comic, I don't remember, I didn't write it down. I don't think we get that moment between Associate Bob and Phoenix like they did in the film. Because basically Associate Bob's like, I can be really useful to you, Mr. Phoenix. Anything you want, I can do it for you. Mm-hmm. And Phoenix is like, oh yeah, really? Yeah. So, but I don't think we got that in the comic. I think it's basically they kill Cocteau, and then that's when we jump to Spartan and Huxley. They show up to Cocteau's place. Excuse me. And they see the aftermath of what happened. They killed Cocteau, and he realizes that they're going to go to the cryo prison, and that Phoenix is going to thaw out about 80 more of his buddies. I'm like, fuck. I'm assuming Spartan put everybody in there from what, I think that's what he says. He's basically like, I put most of them in there. He's like, so they're not going to like me when they get out. So before Spartan leaves, he, as in the film, he takes his little glow rod and he knocks Huxley out because he didn't want her to get involved because possibly she could die. He didn't want that. He didn't want that on his hands. And so he goes after Phoenix, and he arrives at cryo prison, and he takes out about 4 of Phoenix's guys that he's got standing guard outside the cryo prison at the door. And, he's going through there. He's taking several of the guys out. And then we get to the part where he's down into the area where all the other prisoners are, and that big old crane arm that goes down there and grabs the big slab of ice, whatever it was, that the prisoners are in. And so they're fighting in there, and Phoenix grabs Spartan with the big old crane, and he tries to crush him with it. And Spartan breaks loose because we find out that previously in this, there's a little bit of a gunfight, as in the film, and the gunfight, and some of the stray bullets has hit it's like a coolant kind of pipes or whatever. And in the process of doing that, some of that coolant got on the hook, the big hook like that, so it made it brittle. So Spartan is able to flex those Stallone muscles, and he's able to bust out of the hook like that so he can get free. And so Phoenix starts trying to use the cutting laser that they use to cut the people out of the ice to try to kill Spartan, but Spartan's able to evade it. He's able to get away from it, and he sees laying on the ground the little, I called it a cryo crystal. I don't know what they officially called it in the film or the comic, but I called it cryo crystal. That's what I called it. And there's water, moisture stuff that's on the ground. And basically, he's like, huh. He's like, okay, if I bust this, he's like, I can freeze Phoenix because Phoenix is standing in the water. So that's what he tries to do. He busts it on the ground and tries to freeze Phoenix. But unfortunately, all the heat from the laser that Phoenix is using is causing the moisture around him to evaporate. So it's like superheating it and it's drying really, really fast. So Spartan jumps down. He jumps down from the catwalk, and he gets Phoenix to step in a little bit more water that's kind of off to the side that hasn't evaporated yet. And as soon as he does, because of where it's already started to freeze because of that cryo crystal, as soon as Phoenix steps into it, boom, he automatically, like in the film, he automatically just starts freezing. Freezes solid. And Spartan comes swinging by, like I said again, in the film, comes swinging by, and boom, kicks Phoenix's head right off his shoulders like that. And right before the cryo prison blows up, Spartan escapes, and Captain Edgar asks him, he's like, how will we live now? He's like, Dr. Cocteau is dead. He's like, the cryo prison is gone. He's like, our whole way of life has just completely been turned upside down. And he said, it's your fault. And Spartan just kind of looks at him. And he's like, well, he said, for a start, he said, why don't everybody start thinking for themselves? He's like, why don't we start bringing back free thinking? He's like, we don't have anybody to tell us now how to think or how to live. He's like, why don't we live on our own terms again? Mm-hmm. And we end it on another little beautiful scene with Spartan reuniting with his daughter, gives her a big hug and a kiss, and I love the artist. He draws the tears, on both of them, as they embrace each other. And it ends with Spartan giving Huxley a big old smackaroo on the lips, and kind of like an old Western movie, they walk away in the sunset. And that's how it ends. That's how the comic book ends for Demolition Man. So what'd you think about the adaptation, man?
It was way better than I was expecting. This might be the best adaptation comic I've ever read.
For me, what put it over the top, and I still love the film, but what put it over the top, just a slight point over the movie, are the added pieces they put in here.
Yeah, they should have kept the daughter stuff.
Yeah, the added pieces of the daughter. And again, it's very
I forgot
minor.
She was in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, that he mentions her like at once or twice, and it's just a fleeting moment, that's it. But in here, they actually show you that, hey, she's alive. Mm-hmm. She's with Edgar Friendly. She's with the Scraps.
Well, and they built up the emotional connections and the memories.
They did. And the lamb moment, even though it was quick, it helps build more hate in Spartan for Phoenix to make to go kill him. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I love the comic book adaptation. This is the first time I ever read it. I never even knew it existed. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and those extra parts made it just a tad bit more over the film.
Yep,
in my personal opinion. So,
yep.
So I really enjoyed it for sure.
I did too. Way better, more than I expected.
Yeah.
So if you want to pick up this comic, all the issues run about $4 or $5 a piece. It's not real expensive.
No, I picked all 4 of them up on mycomicshop.com.
Yeah,
so I grabbed them out.
If you want to experience the film in a different light, or if you're just a fan of it, I highly recommend it. Mm-hmm. There was also a novelization done too, but I didn't research that, so I'm not 100% sure. That may have been where they got the parts from.
It might have been. Yeah, I didn't research that one, unfortunately. I just checked on the comic books.
Look, I don't know if you guys know it, but you're out of toilet paper.
Paper? Did you say toilet paper?
Oh, they used handfuls of wadded paper back in the 20s.
I'm happy that you're happy, but the place where you're supposed to have the toilet paper, you got this little shelf with 3 seashells on it.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. I can see how that could be confusing.
I don't believe it. Is that you, Spartan?
No. Zach? Zach Lamb? What happened to you?
I got older.
My God. I remember when you were a snot-nosed rookie pilot.
They finally grounded me.
Shit. You're a damn good fly.
You are fined 2 credits for a violation of the verbal morality statute.
I'll be right back.
They seem to be friends, yet he speaks to him in the most profane manner.
Well, if you had read my study, you would know that this is how insecure heterosexual males used to bond.
I knew that.
Thanks a lot, you shit brain.
You are fined. You are fined 5 credits for repeated violations of the verbal morality statute.
So much for the seashells. see you in a few minutes.
I did ask on our Facebook.
Yeah.
If everybody had the choice of which restaurant survived, what they would pick.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
All right, so I got a few. Steve Cutter says probably something like Taco Bell. Question mark. Jack, I can't say your last name. I'm sorry. Chipotle. You said Steak and Shake.
I did. I love Steak and Shake. Yeah.
Alex. I can't say your last name either. Said, "Oh, that's a good question. I think Cookout. It's got the best variety plus shakes."
Cookout is good. I will give it that. Cookout is good.
All right. Rick Morrell says the Purple Cow in Kingsport.
Yeah, they're decent.
Says basically an independent Pals, but better than Pals Rock. So
I don't know if I'd say better. Last time I got a burger at the Purple Cow, he was like super salty. I was like, ooh, I don't know about that.
Christopher Long says his mouth will say Taco Bell, but the words that you will hear will be Pizza Hut.
Okay. All right.
All right. And then we got Chad Clay says White Castle. Their buildings are indestructible and their food won't rot.
Mm-hmm. True.
And Taylor Kimbrough says Waffle House. Which
they're decent.
That would be my second choice.
Yeah, they're pretty decent. Get some of them smothered and covered.
And on one of our Discords, Late to Gaming says, presumably many votes for Taco Bell.
Yeah, I don't hate Taco Bell, but damn, I don't know if I could handle that being the only franchise around.
I can do it. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's do it.
I don't know.
I can't live life without a taco. And that's pretty much it. If you want to find us, you can go to our Facebook, Geeks with Beard Podcast, Instagram, same, YouTube, Geeks with Beard Podcast, and that's where our toy reviews are. You can email us, geekswithbeardpod@gmail.com. And this is for the month of action, right, Dan?
Yes, sir. This is for the month of action.
Can you list off some of the podcasts that are doing this with us?
Oh, honey, I definitely surely will. The whole month of July, like I said, we have been honored to ask to participate in this. And there's like 17 other creators, not just podcasters and YouTubers and everything. And this is the list, and I hope I pronounce all your guys' names properly. We have Movie Dumpster. We have Good Beer, Bad Movie, Video Villa Entertainment, Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast, and that's really fun. Captain Steve is out of Canada, and that's all he covers is shark-related movies. They're awesome. Doom Generation, and those gals actually will be covering the movie Demolition Man for the month of action. So it'd be really cool. That way you can listen to their episode of the movie and then listen to our episode of the comic. That way you can compare them and see which one you would prefer better. Bad Movie, Worst People. Dissect That Film. Mickey over for Play for Keeps of the Nerd Initiative. He's going to be covering, don't know exactly what it is, but it's going to be some toys based on action movies. So it could be Rambo, it could be Terminator toys. Don't know. You'll have to tune in and find out. Of course, us, the Geeks with Beards. Flicks and Friends, B-Action, The Baron's Hideout, Old Man Brad, and Brainbuster Video. They are a video, not a video store, but they make like custom VHSs and stuff, kind of for collectibles and stuff. And their logo's really cool. So their logo looks like the Blockbuster Video logo.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's see, who else do we have here? I feel like I'm leaving somebody out. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. B Movie Brain. And let's see. Oh my Lord, I can't read this one. I don't know what this one says. Extra Spooks. I'm sorry. I couldn't read your font there. Extra Spooks. So that's a list of pretty much everybody that is involved in the month of action for July, and they're going to be, some of them will be doing like a whole month long of action movies. Some are going to be like us, might do one episode for the month. But yeah, check everybody out. We'll have everybody tagged in our social so you can follow them. Give Me Back My Action and a couple others have already put their episodes out. Great episodes. Awesome to listen to. And so yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. We're really excited about this. We hope y'all listen to this one and love the Demolition Man comic just as much as we did. So after the month of action, Sean, what are we going to be talking about?
Well, we actually still have one more episode for the month of action.
Oh, we're going to do 2. Okay.
And what better way to continue the month of action than with Action Comics?
Ah, see what you did there. Hell yeah, man.
And we're not just going to cover any action comic. We're going to cover the action comic. We're going to cover the comic book. The reason we're doing this podcast.
It started it all.
Of what we know as comic books.
Yeah.
So,
hell yeah.
Action Comics #1.
Awesome.
The first appearance of Superman. And there happens to be a Superman movie coming out.
There is.
No coincidence. So yeah, if you got any Superman stories, Action Comics stories, or you just want, if you want to talk about Demolition Man or any other thing we've talked about or not talked about, give us a ring.
For sure, anything. Yeah, you can send in an audio clip, and we'll play it on the show, or we'll just, we'll listen to it and we'll quote what you said, however you want it done. Yeah, this is the first time read for me. I've never ever read Action Comics #1 before.
I have read it before. It's pretty good.
Like I said, my first introduction to Superman in the comic books was the 90s, the Death and Return of Superman. So this will be a treat for me. I can't wait.
And I'll do some historical digging for this one as well.
Awesome. Hell yeah, man. I love that. That's a reprint too. I love the artwork on the front. I mean, it's boom, exactly how the original one was.
Yep. It's like magazine style.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah, for sure. I love that. Oh, that's going to be awesome. I didn't expect that one. That's going to be great. I can't wait to read that.
I picked this up when I was in a comic store in Philadelphia.
Sweet. Hell yeah. So, I might have to grab that myself one of these days.
That's cool.
All right, guys. That will wrap it up for the month of action episode Demolition Man comic book adaptation. And until next time, I'm Dan. Oh, wait. I'm Spicy Dan. And this is Sean Phoenix Rising. We'll catch you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
My Phoenix does rise.
Oh, it does.
Weapons hot and one-liners at the ready, recruits. This ain't just some summer blockbuster vacation. This is the real deal. You've been chosen as part of an elite task force for the month of action. Now when those bullets start to fly and everything around you is up in flames, don't you lose your nerve. Remember who you are. You're the toughest, craziest, most resourceful sons of bitches to ever lace them up. We don't wait for backup and we damn sure don't retreat. Now strap your asses in and get ready for the drop. Oh, and one more thing. Before you pull that trigger, tell them John Mortis sent you.